G'day, hello, I'm Philip Duncan from Weatherwise TV with a new Monday update for Australia. We're going to take a look at the week ahead. We're going to trial this for the month of April, just see how it goes. Thanks for your support. Let's have a look and see what is happening. We talked on Thursday about the big southerly airflow. Here it is on Monday coming in. It spans all the way from Western Australia right across to Eastern Australia. That's a big southerly flow, and it goes all the way up to the tropics, right up to Darwin as well. We've got the offshore storm here that is staying offshore because of that easterly flow kind of pushing it away, high pressure to the south, maybe some cloud and showers brushing the coastline there. Keep up to date with any of the Bureau warnings. And over here in the Coral Sea, we talked the other day about low pressure that might form up here north of Darwin. It's looking more likely to be a little further to the east now around the Solomon Sea and the Coral Sea area. At this stage, doesn't look like a storm, but it could still be a rainmaker and bring in some humidity for you. So let's take a look at the week ahead, showing 24 hours worth of rainfall. I'll point out to you where the heaviest rain is. And obviously the storm out here, that's where the heaviest rain is, but it's offshore on Tuesday. 24 hours worth of rain, not seeing very much up here, 10 to 15 millimeters in the yellow, and just a few isolated showers in this coastal area. Obviously wetter and cloudier and grayer down in the southeastern corner, Melbourne, Hobart, Canberra, those places, and Sydney, all getting some wet weather. Offshore low pressure here, encouraging that south to southeasterly wind. Check out your local forecast. You'll see that the temperatures are certainly down at the moment. As we go through to Wednesday, there isn't a great deal of change. The low out here moving more towards New Zealand. You've got the southerly flow or southeasterly flow in the southeastern corner, which means it won't be as humid and it won't be as hot, and it'll be much cloudier in the coastal zones. Unfortunately for Tasmania, not a huge amount of rain coming here for you. For places like Hobart to Lonnie and Devonport, those areas are staying dry. It's also quite dry up around Brisbane and Noosa. I don't think there'll be too many complaints about that. It was kind of cloudy and a bit cooler over the last few weeks. So now you've got a bit more sunshine coming back out for you. And the storm over here, no longer a storm, falling apart. I'm not even using its name because it looks pretty short-lived and offshore, but there's a little bit of wet weather associated with that, and it may just brush the coastline here on Thursday with a few showers, a couple of thunderstorms inland for Western Australia. That easterly carries on, so there's not a great deal of temperature change for those of you over here in Western Australia. And on Eastern Australia, cloudy with a few showers, just coastal showers. That's what you're basically seeing there in that setup. And it's still cooler with that southeasterly coming out of the Southern Ocean and out of the Tasman and then into land. Maybe a couple of showers now for Brisbane and further northwards. Showers up here around the far north of Queensland. And there is that low that we were just talking about, worth keeping an eye on, because by Friday it does start to deepen and get a little better organised. But there is massive high pressure coming in down here to the south, a long way away, but it expands up, keeps those easterly winds carrying on, blowing across most of the continent, and it can help keep these lows further to the north. The red line, the further north that is, with the humid tropical weather, the more likely that low is to stay up in the north and not drop down anywhere further into more populated places. But if I was in the far north of Queensland, I'd certainly be keeping an eye on that from Cairns northwards at this stage. As we get into the weekend, it does drift a little further towards land. We've still got rain and thunderstorms up here around Darwin. Otherwise, much of Australia is dry. We are seeing showers in these very populated coastal areas, but they're hit and miss. The pale blue just means cloudy-ish, few showers here and there. You know, you might get a couple of millimetres, you might not. It's in that kind of setup. Certainly the risk of showers increases around Brisbane though. Elsewhere though, it's not looking too widespread. And our final map for Sunday shows that low drifting inland. Still most of the rain though is offshore, and it doesn't look like a cyclone, not at this early stage, but it is certainly worth keeping an eye on that system. Anything up in the tropics, like I said the other day, it can move around much faster than you might imagine, and they can stall as well. But the easterly winds carry on, cloudy, showery for many eastern places, and mostly dry across much of Australia. You can really tell that the rain coming up over the next week very much stuck to the outer edges, coastal zones of the continent. That's all from me for this brief outlook for the week ahead. Back again on Thursday with our more detailed 7-day outlook and also an outlook for your rain. Taking a look at that rainfall map for you. So we'll see you again on Thursday. Thanks for your support.